Hey guys, welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by to check out my channel. Today we have 5 boho farmhouse type style home decor pieces. So if you're ready, let's jump in. Okay, so our first project is going to be this wooden tiered tray plant stand kind of thing. So what we're going to use is this it's a rectangular wooden box that I picked up at Dollarama. We're going to use both pieces, the top and the bottom. And then these wooden dowel pieces, they're in a square kind of shape. And I got them also at Dollarama. I believe they're about $2. And then that's a shower curtain rod and some wooden beads and Jenga pieces, but those are for our next project. I just wanted to get them painted all at the same time. So I'm going to use one of my favorite techniques. I'm going to use the Dollar Tree burnt umber paint, and I'm going to water it down. I like it about a half paint, half water mixture. I think it makes a really good wood stain effect. So I just mixed that up. Like I said, you want it about a half and half, so it's a bit of a watery consistency. Now we're going to get that painted on. I just put it on thick. It is watery, but put it on so that it's all fully covered. And you just kind of leave it sit for a second, and then I take a baby wipe and wipe it off. And you can see all that really nice wood grain is starting to show through. So it gives you the exact same effect as wood stain. So there you can see all the pieces are done. Now we're gonna start assembling this. So I just used hot glue. The wood trays are really light, so there's not a lot of weight to it. And I'm only going to use it for light pieces. So if you wanted it more secure, you could use a wood glue or a crazy glue or an E6000, but for me, hot glue worked perfectly. So I went around, I put a post in all 4 of the corners, and then I put one halfway. There I was just trying to line it up. And then finding the center of the back. And then you can really put the spacing how you wanted. I did 5 on each side. I liked the way that looked. Again, if you wanted it closer together or further apart, you could definitely do it how you like it. Once I got both sides on in the one back piece, I was able to put the top in. Now the top did fit nice and snug in there. So I lined it up, and then just using a little bit of hot glue, I just attached the top to the dowels. And then once I got both of the sides done, I laid it down on its front, and then I started gluing all the back pieces on. And then there we go. I love how this turned out. Such a cute little shelf to put somewhere to have plants, or you could decorate it for the season any way you want. Okay, number 2. I took one of these Dollar Tree wall vases, and I just used my can opener, and I cut the top part off there. Now I'm going to use some Jenga blocks and glue those together. We're going to make a little platform that's going to sit inside. We're going to make this wall vase into kind of like a lantern. Next, I took some jute rope, and I'm gonna glue it. I glued along the inside seam and all along the outside. Now the outside edge from using the can opener is a little sharp in spots, so you have to be careful. So gluing the rope along there really smooths it out. It makes it look much more finished. Okay, and then once the glue was done, I used 2 of the Jenga blocks to put feet on so that our lantern could stand up. So I just glued them on and then stood it up to get the Jenga blocks in the right spot. Just added a little bit of extra glue to secure them. And then I glued in that little platform as well. It fits perfectly right along that bottom ledge there. Next, I took that shower curtain ring. I did take it outside and spray paint it in flat black spray paint. And then using a wooden bead that I had stained, you just add a little bit of hot glue to into the wooden bead, and then the little stem kind of part from the shower curtain ring will fit right into the hole, and then you just glue the other side of the ring as well to the other side. It makes a really cute little handle. And I've used this on other projects as well as on trays and different things, but I wanted something for the top of the lantern, so I made that little handle to glue on top. Just attached it with some hot glue. There, it's all starting to come together. So then I took some greenery from my stash. These are just some pieces of long grass. I just went through and took out some different leftover pieces I had, and then I just hot glued them. I kind of tucked the ends in under the little platform and just attached it with hot glue. And I did the same on both sides. And there we go. This is such a cute little lantern that you could put up on a shelf, or for me, mine's going up on my mantle above my fireplace. Okay, number 3. I'm sure we've all seen these little rugs at Dollar Tree. They're just a little fabric rug. Now, the bigger one was found at Dollarama, but I wanted to show that because this project would work on any size. So you're going to take this little rug, cut the tags off of it, and then you're going to have it folded in half. So we're going to have it put so that the good side is facing up right now. And then we're going to fold the top little rim over. We want that tassel to be on the outside. So just using some hot glue. Now this is on the good side that you're going to have put the glue. Or on the front side of it, however you want to say it. And then we're going to glue that down. I just use hot glue. You could use fabric glue or whatever glue you choose, but for me, hot glue worked just fine. And then you're going to turn it around and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now you could make this is going to be the band across the top of your basket or your bin, or whatever you want to call it. You can make this as thick or thin as you like. I have seen them made where it's folded over even more so that the fringe, it's not as tall of a basket, and then the fringe goes around lower. So it's just going to be personal preference. So you're going to hot glue that. And then now you're going to fold it over on top of itself. So you're going to have the fringes on the inside. Now you have to try and tuck them in a little bit because you don't want them to get stuck in the seams. And now once they're all tucked in, we're going to use our hot glue again. And you're going to go about 2/3, just a little bit more than halfway down with hot glue. You're going to leave the very bottom part open because we're going to end up folding it up like that. I'll show you more of that in a second. I was just trying to assess where I wanted to start the glue. So you want to glue about that far down. So just using your hot glue. And then once that side's set, you're going to flip it around and do the exact same thing on the other side. So tuck those tassels in. And then you're going to use your hot glue. You're going to go about 2/3 of the way down again. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom part. So what you're doing is you're making it kind of look like a T. So you're going to bring the bottom, you're going to open it up, bring the bottom up, and then hot glue it like that. So it looks like a T. It's really hard to put into words how to do that, but I know you can see it on the video. So you're going to do the same thing on both sides. So you just bring the bottom up so that it matches like that, and then just glue in there. And so it looks, like I said, like a T. You're going to make a flat bottom for your basket. so then once that's all glued, I was just checking to make sure it was pretty even, and then we're gonna flip it so that it's the right side out. And there you go, a cute little bin. Super easy, great little project that only costs $1. And you can put plants in it. I've seen people use it for toys, the bathroom for toilet paper. The possibilities are endless. All right, let's jump into number 4. For this one, I took a round box. I got this one at Dollarama, but you could use any of the ones at Dollar Tree. We are going to spray paint it, so you could use a leftover seasonal box that you might have in your stash. And we're going to use some wooden dowels. So right here, I'm just trying to figure out roughly where the center is. I know it's a really non-technical way of figuring out center. Then I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to mark a line on each side of roughly where the center is. Then taking some hot glue, we're going to start gluing the dowels on. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the first tray I did as well, I like to use the lid on the bottom. So the smaller rim on the bottom and then the tops on the top of the trays. I just think for putting things in and out of the bottom, it's easier if the lip around the edge of it isn't as high. So I put one dowel on either side right at the center lines that I marked. And then we're going to stick the top in. Now I used the longer dowels because I wanted you to see the dowels along the top. So you just figure out how tall you want your stand to be, where you want that top level to be, and then just attach it with hot glue. Again, it's really light, so I found hot glue worked just perfectly, but if you wanted a stronger glue, you could go ahead and use one. So I gave that a second to set, and then I laid it down on its side. And then for me, for spacing, I used one dowel in between, just so that I had consistent kind of spacing all the way around. So I lay one dowel down as spacing, glue the next one, and then take that middle one out because it was just a spacer. And then laid the spacer piece down again, and then hot glued the next one on. So I stood it up just to make sure that the bottom was level and it was going to stand up okay. And then I just kept going. So spacer, another dowel, and just kept going. And there you go. I did the entire back half with dowels and left the front open. I then took it outside and I spray painted it in a flat black spray paint. And this is how it turned out. I just love this one. It is such a cute way to put plants or, again, really anything. All right, number 5. So this is our last one of the day. I wanted to show you how I made the beaded garland that you see in all of my pictures so far. So I bought these geometric shape wooden beads off of Amazon. I will drop that link down in the description below. And using the same paint mixture, the burnt umber Dollar Tree paint that's watered down to the half paint, half water, I just went along and gave each one of those beads a coat of that paint. Now I wanted these to be a little bit darker, so I did leave the paint on sit for a little bit longer. I didn't wipe it off right away. I really wanted it to. Then taking a baby wipe, we're going to just wipe off all of the excess. And now we're ready to start putting it together. So I am going to use some twine from Dollar Tree. these wooden beads that I will have linked in my description. And I always, when I'm stringing beads, I use a little piece of painter's tape and wrap it around the edge of the twine. To me, it makes almost like a little sewing needle. It helps so much to get the twine to go through. So I just twist it up so it's pointy, and then the beads go on so much easier. So the pattern I did is I did a smaller bead, a bigger bead, a smaller one, a bigger one, a smaller one, and then a geometric. So there's 5 beads and then the geometric one. So again, small, big, small, geometric. For me, that was the pattern I really liked. Now again, personal preference, you could do it however you like, but for me, I really liked how this one turned out. And then once you get it as long as you want, you just tie a knot at the end so that your beads don't come off. And then cut off the extra twine. And now I'm going to make a quick tassel. So taking the same twine, I wrap it around my hand about 20 times. I'm just grabbing my scissors, cut off the excess. So you want to have it so when it's finished, both of the starting end piece and the bottom end piece are both at the same end. Then I always loop through an extra piece. I'm going to use that piece to tie the tassel on to my garland. So I like to put that through before I wrap around. So now we're going to wrap around the top of the tassel. I'm so glad you guys can see what I'm doing. It's really hard to put this into words. So you tie it around, tie a little knot, and then we're going to start wrapping. So I didn't count how many times I wrapped around. Just wrap around till personal preference to see until it's the way you like it. Have it wrapped around, pulling it tight. And then you're going to tie that little piece around into a little knot so that it stays. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut through that bottom loop and give it a haircut. Kind of make sure all of those pieces are nice and even. And then using that piece that you threaded through the top of the tassel, I use that to tie it onto the garland. So you're going to tie it on right above where the knot was. I like to get it in between the knot and the very last bead, just to kind of make it more secure. So you're going to tie it on there tight. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to trim off all the little extra pieces. Now you can see I have my barbecue lighter there. I did go through and burn off some of this twine. There's lots of extra little stringy pieces. So just to clean it up, I burnt those off. I didn't record it though. And then I did another tassel for the other end. So there's a tassel on each end, and there you go. You can see the finished product. So there's the final reveal of all of the projects we did today. I really hope that you enjoyed them. If you did, please take a second and hit that thumbs up button and drop me a comment and let me know which one was your favorite. And as always, thanks for stopping by. See you on the next one.